Okay, so on behalf of Lee Benson and Mark Austin and myself, I'm Eric Horlick. It's my pleasure to open the Toronto course on congenital and structural heart disease. It's great to have all of you here for taking time away from your days to be here with us. So one question is, like why do any course? There are so many courses and offerings like for CME and continuing education, like why bother to actually do anything, right? So we've always felt that, and we've been training fellows for many years, that there's a gap, right? So there's a lot of stuff for fellows, and there's a lot of stuff for as you get more senior in your career, but the early career is when people are a bit unsteady. It's like you're not exactly sure what you know. You don't have enough experience to necessarily get through everything that you're going to encounter. And we wanted to deal with early career people because, first of all, we found them very engaged. So we're trying to basically bridge the gap in the very high pressure environment that what we work in between getting your 10,000 hours, and Lee's going to talk to you about that this morning, and what do you do until then. So we know where you are in your careers now because this is what we do, and we just want to help you to kind of bring your game up a little bit more. And I'm sure many of you are fantastic interventionalists, but I think in intervention, it's actually the gray hair that counts. So you got to be, this is a business where it takes 10 years to be where you want to be, and you need something to get you to that as quickly as possible. So we certainly want to broaden your horizons in intervention. We want you to understand and bring home some new techniques, especially techniques for salvage to get out of trouble when you're in trouble, and discuss some different approaches to how to do things that you may have learned during your fellowship or may be using your center. We want it to be very interactive. So I think that when I think of faculty, when I go to meetings and stuff and I see people, this is the best faculty available. These guys are extremely experienced. They've been around. They've been around all over the world. They've spoken to thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And they've been doing this for a long time. And what I really want is you guys have a chance to interact with the faculty. That is the key. When you go to a meeting with 2,000 people, there's the faculty lounge. Those people are tucked away in a corner away from you. And in this meeting, they're not. So we really want to encourage that interaction. Right, there's no faculty lounge. It's not in the budgets. Right, exactly. We also want there to be a lot of time to discuss and ask questions. So if you look at the agenda, it's not because we're dyslexic that we couldn't figure out the timing. It's because there's a lot of extra time that's just kind of built in there. And we really wanted to try to give a superior quality educational experience. And I think the workshops are a lot about that, where you're going to have kind of a senior mentor, 5 or 6 people, and have a chance to really go through a case, not as a lecture, but as a process, as a group to kind of work through difficult cases. So we want the environment to be safe. And I can tell you that last year's meeting, people are very eager to ask questions and eager to discuss, and that's really the environment that we want to cultivate.
So no fights last year?
Oh no, there are fights.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. There are fights, for sure. We sent a few people to the hospital, but Toronto General is just a few blocks from here. It's not a trauma center. It's great if you have like stage 4 cancer and you want to have a thoracotomy or something, but yeah. And we definitely want to give you some time to think through some difficult problems. And we definitely want you to talk about shop talk. So this is not like, you go out with your partner to dinner and you don't want to avoid medicine. We want you to talk about medicine, talk about equipment, talk about this brand of sheath, this particular wire to get this done. It's very handy to actually have that opportunity. Evaluations are a really key important of this meeting. This course has really been altered a lot through evaluations. There's a lot of things, courses where, you fill out the evaluations at the end to get a CME certificate. We don't want to do that. We're going to give you an evaluation after every session, and we want you to take 2 minutes to scribble some comments that we're going to take very seriously about how we plan for next year.